Swasti no Brihaspati Dadhatu. Swasti no Brihaspati Dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So let's do this. Let us chant verses number 6 and 7, two of them. We will see their meanings in a combined fashion. So let's chant both of them, number 6 and number 7. They're all together on the page 212, so you don't have to look at their individual ones earlier in the book. Hrit pundarikam virajam vishuddham. Hrit pundarikam virajam vishuddham. Hrit pundarikam virajam vishuddham. Hrit pundarikam virajam vishuddham. Vichintya madhye vishadam vishokam. Vichintya madhye vishadam vishokam. Vichintya madhye vishadam vishokam. Vichintya madhye vishadam vishokam. Achintyam avyaktam anantarupam. Achintam avyaktam anantarupam. Achintyam avyaktam anantarupam. Achintyam avyaktam anantarupam. Shivam prashantam amritam brahma yonim. Shivam prashantam amritam brahma yonim. Shivam prashantam amritam brahma yonim. Shivam prashantam amritam brahma. Tamadi madhyanta vihinamekam. Tamadi madhyanta vihinamekam. Tamadi madhyamanta vihinamekam. Tamadi madhyanta vihiname. Vibhum chidatma rupam arupa adbhutam. Vibhum chidatma arupam adbhutam. Vibhum chidatmanam chidatma. Okay, sorry. No, I think here's how we break the sandhi. Vibhum chidatma rupam adbhutam. Chidatma rupam adbhutam. Chidananda rupam. Chidananda rupam adbhutam. Vibhum chidananda rupam adbhutam. Vibhum chidananda rupam adbhutam. Vibhum chidananda rupam adbhutam. Vibhum chidananda rupam adbhutam. Uma sahayam parameshwaram prabhum. Uma sahayam parameshwaram prabhum. Uma sahayam parameshwaram prabhum. Uma sahayam parameshwaram prabhum. Trilochanam Neelakantham Prashantam. Trilochanam Neelakantham Prashantam. Trilochanam Neelakantham Prashantam. Trilochanam Neelakantham Prashantam. Dhyatva munirgacchati bhuta yonim. Dhyatva munirgacchati bhuta yonim. Dhyatva munirgacchati bhuta yonim. Dhyatva munirgacchati bhuta yonim. Samasta sakshim tamasaf parastat. Samasta sakshim tamasaf parastat. Samasta sakshim tamasaf parastat. So, in the previous verse number 5, what was pointed out was how to meditate. Remember that? So, vivikta deshecha sukhamasanastaha shuchi samigra shiva sharira, etc. So that was what we were covered covering briefly in the segment in our own meditation as the preparation for meditation. The preparation for meditation is also important because you cannot really effectively do a nididhyasanam until your mind is withdrawn from the roles. And so the way to do that is an important element to it, but that's not the real meditation. The real meditation starts now. So in verses number 6 and 7, it is what to meditate on and how to meditate is now given. Meditate means to think about, to evaluate, to conclude, to make a determination, all those kinds of things. So that's what meditation means. And in the beginning you have to do it kind of like in a very controlled fashion. Okay? And then eventually it should become natural during the day, all throughout the day. Even if you're acting, you know who you are, who is acting. So that sense of truth will prevail more easily during the day. But for now, in the beginning, you have to contrive it for a very short period of time. You can simulate it. It's like a proxy. And then it becomes more natural. So this is now the instructions given on who to meditate on and how to meditate. This is what it is. Hrit Pundarikam, we'll go into that. So what you will see here, Swami Viditatmanandaji very nicely points out, this is meditation on the meditator. So these are good words to remember. This is a meditation. Meditation on myself, the one who is meditating. So it's interesting. All these are different ways of saying pretty much the same thing. I know when I started reading Swami Akhandananda's books, because I think you know what happened. I think some of my students know this. So I got COVID. So this is like about 2 years ago. And, and that time, even now it is pretty dangerous, but at that time it was really scary. So, so what happened was that I got isolated into one room, and poor Pummy would just come in and put some food near the door, and then I will pick it up, and so we were completely isolated from everything else. And I just had a room and a bathroom, that was it. And then I had a lot of time doing nothing. So I picked up all of the books from Swami Akhandananda that Swami Pratyak Bodhananda ji had given it to me. Then I sort of had gone through it a little bit, but I didn't really read thoroughly. But in this time, I tell you, this is what I'm just saying this. Ishvara gives strong hints for your progress. He makes it possible. He gave me commit for making a new transformation in my life. And it wasn't until I really deeply went into Swami Akhandananda's books, a lot of them many times, that I began to see the truth. The same truth that's been talked about by Swami Dayanandji and so on, but your mind hasn't grasped it as well as it should have. But when you revise it in a slightly different way by another very wise person, then your mind starts to wake up and then grasps it a little bit better. So I started doing that. And I have studied a lot of his books. And I continue to do that. I have a lot of other things that I want to do. So the reason I'm pointing all this out is not just to give you this. But what happens is, as you start to read these various texts by a master, you begin to see certain things that they emphasize. They do a lot of review of things and so on, but in the way they present the material, you will see that they have a great love for focusing on a few things. And if you are truly a student and your mind is calm and you are thinking straight, you don't miss such points. So because when I see that, I said, Swamiji said this there also. He's saying the same thing here. I better pay attention to this. This is what happens. And so, here's what I'm just saying this. One of the things, and if you want you can make this as an important point, but this is an important point for me. Whether it's for you or not, it's up to you. What Swamiji says is, this is Swami Akhandananda, that up to now, our attention is arrested by anatma. And he doesn't say anatma. In fact, I would erase that. That I think that's old thinking in my mind. Let me give you the new thinking that Swami Akhandananda. Yeah. In fact, in the next 3 or 4 classes, I will try to establish that there is no such thing as anatma. Everything is Atma alone. Everything is Brahman alone. There is no non-Brahman. So this is why I caught myself by saying that up to now you are focused on the anatma. That's not true. It is true and not true. It's not true. It is true to the point that I think it is not me. In fact, as we saw in the meditation today, in the Nididhyasanam today, this is just the first step. The first step is to do the viveka that what I see is roles, and that's not me. I am the person who's playing the role. That much is good. In the meditation tomorrow, we will revise this to taking the next step, which I think that I will talk about in the next 2-3 classes, which will say even there is no such thing as anatma. What you think is anatma is also you alone. This has to be established. Hasn't been done yet. That's the next step. But anyway, going back to what I was mentioning about Swami Akhandananda, the common refrain that he focuses on, that he puts the attention on, is this. This was very revealing to me, honestly. What was revealing was not that the words were any different, but the emphasis that he has. This is what you need to do, is this. He says, up to now, you are focused on the observed. What is observed is what catches your attention throughout your life. To become free from problems, we suggest that you now focus on the observer, not on the observed. That's the path you have to take. And that path is the right path. Right now, we are lost in our lives. Whether you think you are lost or not, you are lost. And that's the problem that we have. This is the thing about the Maya. I don't think I'm lost. What do you think I'm lost? Why can you say that I'm lost? I think I know what I'm doing. Swami Viditatmananda has also pointed out. No, I'm sorry, not Viditatmananda. This gentleman, Ram Subramaniam, remember when he came, Subramanian, when he came and he made this point that who are you to tell me who I am? I know myself very well. This is the Purva Paksha. This is the objection that he was talking about. And then he didn't have, poor guy, didn't get a complete time to go through that. But that analysis is very, very good. That we all feel that I know what I'm doing, I'm not lost. How do you say that I'm lost? You are lost. You will discover that you're lost. Right now you feel you're not lost. You're just going around, you know exactly what you're doing and so on and so forth. But deep down below, you will say, this is exactly what happens. You are in a maze, as we were talking about the other day. You are lost when you find out, I have already been here before. This is the thing. You keep on having new experiences in life, new places to see, new people to meet, new subjects to get introduced to. That all looks enticing. It looks that I'm making progress. I'm really going somewhere. That means I'm not lost. I'm going something. I'm exploring. But suppose in a maze, it's like going in a maze, you think that I'm turning the right corners, going left, right, this, that, or the other. Yeah, this is new. I haven't seen this before. This is good. This might lead me somewhere. Then comes the point where you go back to where you were before. That is a scary thought. Oh my God, I have been searching and I'm back to where I began with. I'm lost. Now I am truly lost. Panic starts to set in. Expectations take a different form. So this is exactly what happens. In our life, we think at this point, I'm leading my life, I'm very comfortable, I'm trying new things and new experiences. What do you mean I'm lost? At the end of the life, you begin a new life exactly at the same point that you started before. And even then, I don't realize it because I think now it's a new life, now I've got new things to do. Ultimately, if you think about it, so this is where you say you are lost, is to say to the person, don't you see you are going round and round and round? You're taking different paths, going through different places, but you come back to the same place. Don't you see you are not making progress? You are lost. So, if you at least admit that maybe you have a point. We protested for a long time. This is the thing you have. You may read some books and so on. I don't know how you are. Maybe you're lost. How do I know you are not lost? And how do you can tell me that I am not that I am lost? So we have all those doubts and so on. But suppose after all that, Shraddha comes in and says, interesting. Maybe you're right. Maybe I am lost. So what should I do? Because the other person says, not only are you lost, I can tell you where to go. It is not enough to say you're lost. You have to give a solution too. So the next step is, so what else should I do? So this is what Swami Akhandananda ji emphasizes. He says, please, if you are involved in the observed, you are going round and round and round. So then what should I do? If I'm lost, begin to look into the observer. This is emotional maturity. This is going in the right direction. This and that you may have to go a little ways, but at least there may be some difficulties on that road also. And difficulties that you propose yourself, not our difficulty. But that is the right direction that you should be going on. And our first reaction is, well, there's nothing much to see. I'm an observer. You said, didn't you say I'm an observer? I'm an observer. Yes. So the observer doesn't have any variety to explore. Observed has some interest for me. And so this is interesting. This is very appropriate for these two verses that we are going to do. The Shastra says that's not the case. This observer is not just a simple thing. It's something very deep, something unthinkably wonderful. Do you know it? Do you know the Mahima? No, I don't. I'll explore it. Look into that. So this is the direction that we have to take. So I'd like to say one other thing. So now what we will see is, in the verse number 6 and 7, the various aspects of, I use my words in English carefully, the various aspects of the observer are being given. Various aspects. You can use words like features and attributes, right? But we know that the observer doesn't have any attributes. Because attributes means changes. There cannot be any changes to the observer. So then how come you are giving all these words, which we are going to now do very shortly? Hrit pundarikam virajam vishuddham vichintya madhye vishadam vishokam achintyam avaktam ananta rupam shivam, all these are, what are these? So these are not attributes but aspects of the observer. What do you mean by aspects, and how is that different from attributes? So here Swami Viditatmananda does a very good job. If you read all of this later on, this is all really this kind of a retreat and these few classes, and those classes also are somewhat interrupted by other things and so on, is just a small sample. You have to really follow that up with some more details, and this is why this is so nice to have a book to do that. So, Swami Viditatmananda makes this point. I think you could see this is on page 98. Yeah. In fact, I'll just read his words directly. On the end of the page 97, he says, in this verse, the self is described in so many words. Why so many words? Because each word addresses one or the other conclusion or complex we have about the self. Each word helps dispel a wrong notion about the self. Very good, beautiful point, very well done. So it's not that the self has attributes, but we think it has attributes. And to dispel the notion of those attributes in my mind, these words are given. So that is the beauty about it. You know, it's interesting. A story comes to my mind which I read by Swami Maheshananda ji, I think. Yeah, this is from Swami Maheshananda. Very beautiful story. He says there was a man in. I think it's a real story the way he says it. So there was a man who came up with a disease of his body. And a lot of the people were trying to help him to find, but that disease was not going away. So a friend of this man told him that there is a powder that you can get from Russia that will solve your disease. So he started finding how to get this from Russia in this kind of a package and so on. So there was another doctor friend of his who knew what this powder that he was looking for from Russia, he knew that was available right here. And in fact, this was being exported to Russia from India, just like our Ayurvedic person, really, because Ayurveda has all the right food and medicines and so on. People don't know it. Like turmeric. Now the West is discovering turmeric, ashwagandha and all that. But this is all something like that. So this friend said, no, this guy is, it's available here. He says, no, I don't believe in this. I want this from Russia. So he says, okay, if you don't want to believe it, what can I do about it? It's okay. So finally, and he was not able to get it from Russia. Not able to get it. So he was getting very frustrated. So this friend of his had an idea. He says, let me do this. I'm going to get this powder from the bazaar. It is available in the bazaar. And I'm going to package it in such a way, and it makes it look like it is from Russia. And he says, I'm arranging it to get it from Russia. And he went to the post office and he says, put the stamp of, imported and so on and so forth very nicely. And one day he tells him that, the package has now arrived. So he sends his domestic help to get it from the post office, opens the package up and eats it. And he gets okay. This is the story. Why this story is, it's really interesting. If I tell you, you are the person, not the role, you know what your thoughts are going to be? that simple? Just by this guy sitting there in the chair just telling me, he's the same guy that I move around with and eats breakfast with and so on and so forth. He also has the same problems. He's also looking at the Ayurvedic doctor. And he's sitting there telling me I am the whole thing. No. So you know what you do? This is exactly the thing. You read books. You go to gurus. You go to char dhams and all these kinds of things. I've got to do this. I have to do that. I have to do a lot of pujas. And I have to study. I have to learn Sanskrit. This cannot be that easy. I have to do this. And then how many Upanishads? I haven't read enough Upanishads. I need somebody to explain the Bhagavad Gita to me. Who do I go to? You set your own expectations. No. I agree that this is the self and so on and so forth. But just by telling me you're the self, this doesn't do anything for me. But if I just go to Mahapurusha, this is what happens. Everybody tells me, have you heard? This is so interesting. Now people, they all think that I'm a student of Vedanta, and that so they at least talk to me. A lot of the friends, they'll say, have you heard such and such Swami? So the most common name these days I heard is Swami Sarvapriyananda. He's here somewhere in New York area. I don't know where he is. And he's supposed to be very good. So I hear his name many, many times. So my friends will tell me, have you heard Swami Sarvapriyananda? So what do I say? I said, oh yeah, he's very good, wonderful. Then he'll say, you want me to send his tapes? So that's a then I say, I'm a little busy right now. I don't want to, I'm done. Okay, I've got the right kind of people that I'm following and so on, and that's it. But what in their minds, you have to go through a lot of things before you can do that. If I tell this friend, you please come here, I'll tell you exactly what's going on. They'll say, no. You? No. Well, let me at least, he'll also be very polite and say, no, I'm very busy that, because I have to read the full talks of Swami Sarvapriyananda. So here's the thing. The reason I'm mentioning all this is, there are a lot of words, a lot of meditations and so on. But you know what the essence of that is? The essence of that is Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivoho Brahma Eva Natu Apara. This is what Adi Shankara had said. Ardha Shlokena Pravakshyami Yat Vadati or Vadanti or there's some word. I said that in my class in California also, and I have to look that up. Ardha Shlokena Pravakshyami Yat Grantha Kotbihi Viditam or something like this. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivoho Brahma Evanatu Apara. He says, I can just tell you the essence of what is being talked about in thousands of books. Adi Shankara himself, he said, you are the Satyam and everything else is a Mithya. That's it. That's the end of it. So it's exactly like this story that this cannot be, it cannot be just so simple that I can just go to the bazaar and I want something imported. Somebody has told me that it is a specialty of Russia and I have to import it. I have to go through a lot of things. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get some coupon, not coupon, but some agreement to get it from Russia, import it from Russia. I said, no, it's right here. So the reason I'm saying that is, there are a lot of words being talked about. But each word, as Swami Viditatmananda says, is not the attribute of the Atma. It is the anti-attributes of what you think the attributes of the Atma are. This is the important thing. So with that preamble, let us see what the words are being used. See? So now let us at least read the English translation of verse number 6, and then we will start to look into the words. Hrit pundarikam virajam vishuddham, etc. In the lotus-shaped heart that is untainted and clear, meditate upon the self that is pure, griefless, unthinkable, unmanifest, of endless forms, ever auspicious, peaceful, immortal, the origin of the Creator, without beginning, middle and end, the only one, all-pervading, consciousness and fullness, the formless and the wonderful. And so just another translation of a word by word, we can now do this. That's all given in this page 97. Hit Pundarikam, the heart in the form of a lotus. Again, I'm just going to do the translation. I'll give the meanings a little bit later on. Virajam. Virajam means, Raja means dirt. So, Virajam means dirtless, pure, untainted. Vishuddham. So this is very interesting. In Sanskrit, the same word can have different meanings. This is very confusing many times to the... So look at the prefix V, right? In the previous word, virajam, V means, viraktam means devoid of raja, having no dirt. So it is the opposite meaning V. But in the next one, vishuddham, see, if you use the same one, that means it is opposite of shuddham? No. So what is the meaning of V there? Visheshena shuddham. Particularly shuddham. Absolutely shuddham. So the V has an opposite meaning of it. So that's what it is. Vishuddham. Vichintya rupam. Vichintya. Vichintya also is a very beautiful word. Means unthinkable. So we'll go into this. What do you mean by how can you meditate on something which is unthinkable? This is a very important point. And in fact is the subject of the quiz that I had given to the students of the Mandukya class, which is actually due in next tomorrow. And so it will be interesting to see what people say about this. This all has to do with the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, unthinkable, unchintyam. So that's the answer actually, it is unchintyam. Don't tell it to the others, you just keep it to yourself. So, Anchintyam. Avyaktam. Most important. My God, what a beautiful word. Avyaktam. Not just a beautiful word, very revealing word. Avyaktam. Anantarupam, of endless forms. Shivam. Shivam means full of blessings, auspicious. Prashantam. Again, the word pra is prakarshena shantam. Prakarshena shantam means not just simple peace, amazing peace, extraordinary sukham, prashantam, amritam, not touched by time, Brahma yonim, the origin of the Creator. All this hopefully we'll have time to do. Adi madhya anta vihinam, devoid of the beginning and the end or the middle. There's no middle, no end, no of that. Ekam, one with ekam advitiyam. So Swamiji has added without a second. I remember when I was going back and forth, when I was editing this book, this must have been one of the ones that we added later on, because we may have just said the only one, and then I think he may have added I don't know, I don't remember that, but added without a second. Advaitam. Vibhum. So the word Vibhu means all pervasive, all pervading. Chidananda Rupam. So Chidananda Rupam, there are two words there, Chit and Anandam. So Chit means knowledge, conscious entity, consciousness. And Ananda Rupam means a sense of fulfillment. Nothing is lacking. I'm happy. Arupam, formless. Adbhutam, amazing. Ascharya Rupam, like in Bhagavad Gita also says, Ascharyavat pashyati enam. When you discover the self, it is like a wonder. It's a wonder that I didn't know this before. Wonder what a beautiful thing it is. So, Ananda Rupam. So that's what it is. Okay. So, how should we proceed? Should we do it word by word? You know what we might do is continue this word for word to the 7th verse also. So really speaking, both of these are similar with a similar ending. We might as well just do that, because this is going to take us some while to go through. Okay. One interesting thing, just a second, let me look at it. I see a kind of a discrepancy. So here's the discrepancy, but I mean, just not a serious discrepancy. If you look at, so see pages 97 and 212 together. On page 97, it ends not with Brahma Yonim but Adbhutam. Right? You can see that? Now turn to page 212. It ends in Brahma Yonim, and the Adbhutam is part of verse number 7. Did you see that? Do you see that? So, in page 90, together 6 and 7 is exactly the same, but where the dividing line is different between. So yeah, I didn't realize this is the first time I'm becoming aware of that. I wonder if this was corrected in the new version of the book. I think some of you have the new version of the book. So everything is correct, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I just noticed it. I think she has the new book. Same thing? Okay, so that was not corrected. Okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter because looked at both of them, it's a complete one, just where the line drawn was different between one or the other. Okay, that's all. So let's go to the description of verse number 7 on page 110 now. Correct. Now what is on 122? Show me the cover of the book. This is the new book. That's a new book. Yeah. So that's a new book. The page number are different. What I am describing as page number is the old book which has this cover. Okay. Okay, so verse number 7. Uma Sahayam Parameshwaram Prabhum. So let's see this. Okay, let's read the English translation and then we will do word for word translation. Meditating upon the consort of Uma, which is, the consort of Uma is Lord Shiva, the highest Lord, the powerful, the three-eyed, the blue-necked and ever tranquil, the contemplative sage reaches him who is the source of all beings, the witness of all, and who is beyond all darkness of ignorance. Okay, so now look at the word meanings. Uma Sahayam, the consort of Uma. Parameshwaram, the highest Lord. Prabhum, powerful. Trilochanam, the three-eyed. Neelakantham, the one with the blue neck. Prashantam, ever tranquil. So again, this is a prefix of pra, which means prakarshena shantam. So distinguishing from ordinary shantam. Ordinary shantam means subject to become non-shantam. Sometimes you're peaceful, some news comes in and then your peace gets shattered. Peace gets into pieces. So that is an ordinary shantam. But prashantam means not possible to be shattered. So prashantam, dhyatva, meditating upon. Here, Munihi. Remember previously it was used yatihi. Here the uses the word munihi, the contemplative one. Munihi means mananashilaha, one who is adept, who is skillful in doing contemplation. So if you look at the English words, because those are all approximations, we have to search from the entire dictionary of English to see which one fits this best. So it's very interesting if you want to make a note of it. You know, we have talked about the three stages of understanding. One is Shravanam, one is Mananam, and one is Nididhyasanam. So if you were to translate that in English, you can say, first one is you can do study or listening. Shravanam means listening. The second Mananam is contemplating. And Nididhyasanam is meditating. So you can see the small difference between contemplation and meditation. And we can discuss that some other time. But here in this context of that, Munihi, which is Mananashilaha, this is an appropriate translation, which I don't know if I did it or Swamiji did it, together we did it. The contemplative sage, Gacchati, reaches Bhutayonim, the source of all beings. This is an important thing that we will go into. Samasta Sakshim, the witness of all. Tamasaf Parastat, beyond the darkness of ignorance. So, the ending of the verse number 7, which means that you reach the source of all beings, which is the witness of all, and this is beyond all darkness, is common to both 6 and 7. So the ending is common to both 6 and 7. As you will see, if you read the book again, you will see Swamiji makes that point. Very beautiful point. And so that's the end of anyone's efforts to understand. So in both number 6 or 7. Okay. So I think it will be better if we just wait for the next class to begin the meaning of the words. So far we have just given you the pure translation of the words, but now the meaning of the words, which will lead to a contemplation, we'll be looking at it. So we will do that at the 11 o'clock class. So we'll see you in about an hour's time. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari